You know, this is amazing to me that I get to keep coming back here. And one of the really interesting things to me is I remember when Godfrey, it must have been maybe 10 tribal communities. Godfrey met in a room up in Flagstaff and was forming this thing called NTTA. And now it's this, and it just keeps growing better and better every year. And so to me, that's really exciting, and I love to see it, and I get to talk to new people. My name is Brian Smith. I am the General Field Staff Branch Chief, or Field Staff Branch Chief for Telecom for Branch 3. Branch 3 is the Western United States, and I'm going to go through some stuff really quick here on a presentation, and I'm going to try and really basically put you back on track if I can, and see if I can't answer any questions that you might have. But myself, Billy Kinter, is the Arizona, New Mexico GFR. Why don't you stand up, Billy, so everyone can see your smiling face. And then we also have Guadalupe Valdez, or Lupe as I like to call him, and he is one of our Reconnect GFRs. So he specializes in Reconnect. They both have projects in Arizona, and Billy obviously has some projects in New Mexico. So with that, I'm going to get started, and I'm going to try and move quick, and then I can answer any questions you have. One of the first programs I wanted to talk to you about is our distance learning and telemedicine program. This program has been around for a long time. It actually just closed not too long ago, and I like the program, and I'm going to do this in an order that I think makes sense. So distance learning, what is it? Basically, it's to improve distance learning and telemedicine in areas that don't have access to it. So basically, that's solutions based upon, broadband, equipment. Maybe you want to be able to have a teacher that's in an urban area teach students in a rural area or in a tribal area. This program's good for that. One of the projects we got to do was for Santa Fe Indian School. It was really awesome. Kimball's awesome, I just want to say again. And she actually was able to teach native languages back to tribal libraries. Awesome project. We love doing stuff like that. We also have done clinics. What's one that's a good example would be psychiatry. I thought this one was a funny one because I was like, man, someone's just going to go and talk to a person on a computer screen. Well, they had me sit down because the person wasn't there, and I wound up talking to some lady in New York. And honestly, it was actually it was nice. I didn't have to drive anywhere. I just sit down in this nice, comfortable chair and talk to someone. Of course, I didn't spill anything important, so it was good. Here's some of the things that we do for our distance learning and telemedicine program. We have a rurality score. That's calculated by our what is done in through our mapping system. So it's based on where you're actually located. So one of the disadvantages is it could have an urban area inside your county that could affect your scoring a little bit. But the more rural you are, basically the more points you get. We have something else, which is an economic need score. This is used in our scoring system to determine what's something called the SAPE score. And the SAPE score is based upon what's been determined for a specific county and economic need. I think this one is a little bit tough because a lot of tribal areas might have a county that is more urbanized inside them. If you're out here in Arizona, Maricopa County is huge. I think they say it's bigger than New Jersey, so that gives you an idea of how big it is. So that's something where you probably would want to submit some other documentation showing the need of the actual tribe using tribal statistics, maybe from census and stuff like that. We have special consideration points every round. Historically, this usually includes something for tribes. So that gives tribal entities or projects serving tribes to a little bit more step up in getting some points to be able to get a project going. And then we have a need and benefits score. These categories are a little bit subject to change based upon what the funding opportunity announcements list. But usually historically service, the needs and benefits has been more of a a narrative subjective scoring, and it gives you an opportunity to really speak to what's needed for your community. I'm not going to go through the ineligible purposes because I'm pressed for time, but those are the don'ts. And I think, Sonia, these are on the presentation. Okay, yeah, these are on the website. Here's some of the things that we normally provide in these types of things: hardware and software, networking components, telecommunications, terminal equipment, things that basically help you build something that's going to make a difference in your student's life or in your community's life. Usually, we have a matching contribution. Billy, am I wrong that tribal entities had a special thing this year they could apply and waive the matching with SUDA? Yeah. So sometimes you can waive it. You can request to have the match waived if you're a tribal entity. This is the website for distance learning and telemedicine, and Billy, Lupe, and myself are here today and tomorrow to answer any questions. The next program I wanted to talk to you about is Community Connect. And I like to talk about distance learning first because it sounds great, but if you don't have connectivity, it's kind of useless. And so I like to get started in Community Connect. Community Connect has been around for a long time. Community Connect is a program that basically is for severely unserved areas that have nothing, basically. And what we do is we'll give you a grant to build out that area. We're technology neutral in how you build it. Basically, if it's unserved by definition of the funding opportunity announcement, you can apply. Are these numbers still correct based upon, I had this presentation done before the funding opportunity announcement came out. Is it 25.3 for unserved, or is it 10.1? 10.1? Okay. So basically, eligible applicants are listed here. Indian tribe or tribal organization, state or local government, a regular incorporation, ISP. You don't have to be an ISP. The reason why I like this program for someone just getting started is we allow you to kind of get your ISP started. And so it's kind of a way to get off the ground without, going crazy, and just starting to build something and learn the business and learn the ropes. Basically, an eligible project is going to serve an unserved area. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. We do ask that you offer free service to critical community facilities, such as a hospital or police. If they don't have those types of services, we want to make sure they get them. You offer it for a couple years. We also ask that you provide a community center. Pueblo of Laguna started their ISP with this, and they actually had 6 grants at one time. They did 6 community centers, and the community centers, they got a really good deal on some old FEMA trailers, and they actually set up community centers. They got people from the community to volunteer to open them. I talked to several people who started businesses, selling their art, selling products online, and it was able to make a difference. And we love to see that kind of stuff. We don't want to duplicate stuff, as Godfrey alluded to with the deconfliction, and has Andy mentioned. We don't want to overbuild something else. We want to be able to provide service to an area and make sure that we are putting the funds where they're most needed. We do have a matching contribution in this program, and it's 15% of the grant amount. We have a scoring generally, which can also be dictated by the FOA. And again, this was, I sent my presentation in before the funding opportunity announcement came out. But basically, relation to the PFSA, community participation, management experiences, some of the things that we can give you points for. And then our big program that everyone loves to talk about, and I've talked about it for 2 years in a row, so I wanted to throw some other things in there, was our Reconnect program. We just had round 4 of Reconnect close in November, I think it was, or the end of September or September. And basically we're working through those applications right now. Andy gave you some numbers on kind of what that's looking like. Things are going well. We're making progress. We're almost done with our service area validation process. So I'm going to get into this a little bit right now. Who can apply? Well, there's a whole host of people that can apply here. An Indian tribe, of course, is listed there. nonprofits, for-profits, LLCs, cooperatives, of course, state and local governments, and we've pretty much had all these apply. What are some of the application eligibility factors? Unqualified audited financial statements. Obviously, you got to have a fully complete application. You have to have a plan to build it out in 5 years. It has to be financially and technically feasible, and the service areas have to meet our definition of unserved. And obviously, the project needs to be completed. Speaking to unqualified audited financial statements, we did discover in the past 2 rounds that if you are a tribal entity, you can, and the tribe itself is applying, you can use, the name's slipping my mind now, but it's a statement of federal awards. As long as you have a CPA prepare that, you can use that in place of your actual unqualified audited financial statements, which a lot of tribes, especially with COVID, were behind on that. And so we were able to discuss that with our Office of General Counsel and find a way to make that work. So that's been extremely helpful, especially with round 4 going from round 3. So the funding types, basically we have, in this last round, we had 5 different categories. So we had a 100% loan. That was a 2% loan. That's the same rate that we can give under SUDA for our infrastructure loan program as well. But 2% loan, you know, that's pretty low. We have a 50-50 grant loan combination. That's where you can take out a cost of money loan, and then you can get 50% in grant funds for 100% coverage. We have my favorite titled one, which is 100% grant. That's not 100% grant, but that's what they call it. It's 100% grant funds plus 25% of your funds. So that's the least attractive option, I would think, but money is money. Then we have another grant, which is a 100% grant for these various categories. So Alaska Native corporations, tribal governments, colonias, persistent poverty areas, and socially vulnerable communities. That's a pretty competitive category. That's the one that most tribal entities or area entities serving tribes go for. And then this year we added a new category, which was 100% grant for areas where 90% of the households were unserved or didn't have sufficient access to broadband. That was a true 100% grant, and that would mean that only 10% of the households can be considered served through our service area validation process. The other ones all only require 50%. Here's some of the criteria for scoring. As you can see, there's all kinds of stuff in there. It gets very exciting. Your general field representatives can discuss those with you and assist you with them. The website is really good. I can honestly say that over the years, when someone calls me and has a question, except for Godfrey, because he always asks the most difficult questions. But if someone calls me and has a question, I can usually use our guides and hit Control F and find the answer really quick. So they're just really thorough. We have a lot of webinars, and most importantly, we want to be here for you. I think it's okay to say this with Andy here, but I want to give money away. That's my job for the government. And I guess RUS, our job is technically to try and put ourselves out of business so that you won't need us anymore. And so I'll boldly say that as well. So if anyone has any questions, I'd love to answer them, or if we're pressed for time, I can answer questions throughout the day. So all day we'll be in the Yucca room. Just come over, let us know when you want to come in, or just stop in. We're okay. You can also email any one of us, Billy. You can email Guadalupe, or just come over and see us. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for me? Because I talked really fast. Wow, I just told you everything. I'm so glad.
You're good. Oh, there's one right there.
Yes, sir. You mean, can we like see what the other agencies are doing? We don't get into, as far as finding someone to provide the matching funds for an entity.
Yeah.
We generally don't get into that part of it because it probably would be a conflict of interest as far as, trying to search. I mean, we work with the states. We've had a couple states that are interested in using their funds extremely wisely. And we've had them actually reach out to us and say, hey, we're looking at grants. If someone comes to you, would you allow us to provide the match? And as long as that matching funds doesn't have a tie to a federal funds, then that's been okay thus far. State of New Mexico was trying to work with us in that way. What state are you from?
Wyoming.
Wyoming. So I don't know much about Wyoming, but I do know who the GFR is, and I'm more than happy to put him in contact with you, have a call with you and him, and we can discuss what options you might have.
Thank you.
Love to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.